On Sunday, Logan Evans made his MLB debut. Donovan Solano is still struggling, and we have 5 series wins in a row. Welcome to the Dom Skeen channel, your one-stop shop for the Mariners storylines on Seattle's minds. Mariners beat the Marlins 7-6 on Sunday to take their 5th series in a row, despite being out hit on XBA 262 to 276. Both teams had 9 hits, but we had this game locked up nearly from the beginning. High probability to win early, obviously going up by quite a few runs. They score first. Agustin Ramirez hits another solo homer. This kid is the real deal. Unfortunately, last night against the Dodgers, close game in the 9th inning. Marlins leading 6-5 in the Dodgers stadium. First game of that series, Agustin Ramirez is playing catcher behind the plate, and the Dodgers were stealing at will, eventually going on to walk off that game, coming back in the 9th inning, in the bottom of the 9th inning, and winning 7-6. So he might get moved from behind the dish, but as a DH, man, as a hitter, there is nothing wrong with him. Double dong in this one. He went 2 for 5. Just to talk about a Marlin. And then Max Meyer. Mariners kept him off balance. Really just did a good job against one of the best strikeout artists going in the MLB right now. That slider of his, he only had 3 whiffs on 28 of them. So not whiffing a ton on that slider. And he did induce extremely low average exit velocities of 80.2. That 4-seam, though, we crushed. Average exit velocity 101.2 through 20 of those, only got 2 whiffs. Ultimately, then the changeup got 2 whiffs, sweeper got 1, throwing those 18 and 13 times respectively. Sinker threw 7 and got 0 whiffs. Only 8 whiffs for us on 86 pitches. We are not the strikeout hitting, we're not the strikeout lineup that we used to be, with Suarez and Teo. I know those guys have gone on to have a lot of success after leaving the M's. However, it's just worth noting that we said we were going to get rid of those strikeouts, and now finally with our hitting instruction coming from Mariners legends, Mariners Hall of Famers, and Dan Wilson, Edgar Martinez, who have hired a pretty dang formidable staff, it seemed like, with Kevin Seitzer and Bobby Magallanes, guys with major league experience. Instead of that Brent Brown approach that lasted under a month before getting fired, where he was showing them all these heat maps, all these numbers, trying to basically show the players the analytics right before they go up to the plate. You can't have all that swirling around in your head at the end of the day. And I just started the Boston Red Sox documentary on Netflix everybody's talking about. Sorry to jump around topics, but bear with me. That Red Sox documentary starts out by basically saying, hey, this is not, Alex Cora is saying, hey, this is not about, what's your numbers and stuff. It's, who's going to get a hit today. It's more about, hey, how's the family? It's an everyday sport. You don't have time to rest and recover. So we're getting good pitches. Instead of that, they've simplified it down, and they've said it themselves to, get your pitch and don't miss. And now you see guys just looking for that pitch. Leo Rivas has been great in this lineup as well. Didn't get a hit, but scored 2 runs, walked twice to 1 strikeout, keeping that OPS really high. Julio, 2 hard hit balls in this one. I love the quality of contact for Julio. Still putting up those average exit velocities that are in the, what percentile we got right now? 80th percentile, bat speed in the 92nd. I think Julio is definitely going to come around. His chase and whiff are terrible right now. He's still chasing. On the radio, they're talking about basically his, even when you're sitting, at home on the couch, and credit to Bob Selton for this, you can see that fastballs up and in, he can't work those off. And then, those breaking balls down and away, he chases those. So when those 2 things are so easy to do, Julio just isn't that layered hitter that we want him to be. Jorge Polanco, on the other hand, 3 for 4 again, up to 377 with an 1144 OPS, 4 hard hit balls in this one, 2 RBIs, and 2 doubles, no strikeouts. But Jorge Polanco, we just have to ride it, obviously. Can't put him in the lineup against lefties yet, unfortunately, with that big injury. I do want to talk about credit to Scott White on the Fantasy Baseball Today podcast. Last night was talking about how there's a track record dating back to 2022 of this knee injury bugging him. And he never got it addressed surgically. He had all these terrible seasons right after that. But before that, he had, I think, a 33 homer year and 20-something homer year. And that was 2019, 2020. And after that, he hasn't been the same. He finally got it addressed surgically this offseason. And then after he got it addressed surgically, the Mariners went ahead and got him for $7 million after declining that $12 million option. Got him in the lowest possible bargain. And he has been an absolute revelation. Going to continue to hit at the top of his lineup for as long as he can do this. Randy, got to give credit to him, even though he struck out twice back over the Mendoza line. And that OPS is still 742, which is still a really good OPS. JP's OPS is up to 785 after going 2 for 3, 2 runs. He's hitting the ball hard now. He's still walks at an elite rate. His average is up to 277, so JP is awesome. He's moved back up into that 6th spot. It's interesting to see where he ends up hitting today. And then finally, and Donovan Solano, 1 hit in this one. Did hit a double, but still just not too encouraging, and his defense has been honestly pretty poor too. He's just bad at those picks, even though he's not the biggest guy. He should, and he played second base and stuff. He should be a guy who can get down and get those picks, but I think there's a certain degree of athleticism that has faded with him, and it's worth noting that. I'm not saying that by any means that he is quote unquote, washed up or old or anything, but it's completely just an athleticism thing where finding ways to cope with that as your career progresses. Nelson Cruz did and remained in the league for a long time, but Donovan Solano doesn't look like has that under lock right now. If he could get it back under lock, he could stay on this team, but it will definitely need to be pretty soon before there's another more exciting option like Tyler Locklear, who did terribly in his MLB debut last year. 49 plate appearances, striking out 20 times. Terrible XBA of 148. Outperformed it with a 156 batting average, but terrible quality of contact metrics at 87 mile an hour average exit velocity. So not excited about Tyler Locklear either. I think if we were in that position, I'd rather Rowdy play every day almost, and then have Garver as a backup, have Rayleigh, take reps there if he needs. Finally, talking about Logan Evans, going 5 innings, 2 hits only, 2 earned runs, 3 walks to 3 strikeouts, allowing a home run, giving up 5 hard hit balls to the Marlins. One of them was Agustin Ramirez pretty early, and then that was the homer. Then after that, allows another run by walking a few guys and giving up some hits. But overall, with Logan Evans' MLB debut, I'm not so encouraged that I want to call him, a super exciting guy. But expected batting average against him, 154. Although quality of contact with pitchers takes so long to normalize, I'm not expecting that to continue. He does have a pretty good off-speed pitch. So, if he can continue to use those off-speeds well, he has this big arsenal. You could see him get the most out of it, kind of like Bryce Miller, who's going to be starting tonight. As the Halo Wars start, our series with the Angels for the season, I'm going to predict tonight that going up against the Jack of one trade, as Pitcher List calls him, Jack Kohanowitz, who really only does one thing well. I don't think he's going to have it tonight. I think we're going to ball out 8-4 win. I'm going to go Randy hits a homer, and I'm going to say that Bryce Miller gets 4 strikeouts. I don't love seeing him throw 8 pitches, but if he's getting 11% strikeout or 11% strike rate, then that is still an elite rate. Anyway, I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you for watching, and go Amps.